We have a new mystery in the Downtown Disney parking lot, our first signs of transformation at the Jazz Kitchen in Downtown Disney, new walls up at the Disneyland Tram loading area, plus updates on the DVC Tower of the Disneyland Hotel, and more, all coming up next on Fresh Baked. Hi guys, David here with Fresh Baked, and we've got some updates for you on construction projects going on around the Disneyland Resort. And the first is my favorite kind of construction update, mysterious mysteries. And this new mystery is the sudden and unexpected clearance of trees in the Downtown Disney parking lot. Normally, when you see trees being cleared, it's because they're getting ready to do something major. Trees are the first thing to go in any construction project, and then it's concrete. So this is kind of interesting. So from the Pixar Palace parking structure, we can see that all the trees in the parking lot, the Downtown Disney side, they've been cleared. Here we can see just the trees were cut. The stump still remains, as does the planter. But I suspect both the stump and the planters will be gone by the time we get back there again. However, the light fixtures have not been removed, not yet anyway. So what's happening here? There are a few possibilities, but right off the bat, I think we can rule out anything related to Disneyland Forward. As you know, this site is one of the proposed locations for the eventual expansion of both Disneyland and California Adventure, as described in the Disneyland Forward proposal. This side would have been the Disneyland expansion side. So naturally, that's where everyone will be looking when something like this happens. However, there's a couple of things getting in the way of that idea. First, I feel like I'm pretty confident we would have heard something from Disney if they were serious about beginning any kind of expansion, actual construction. Just up and building Disneyland Forward today is not how they do things. We would have seen concept art, actual concept art, mind you, not that vague art that we got about a year ago when they first announced Disneyland Forward. There would be art and updates from Imagineers and Disney Parks blog posts. More importantly, we would have heard rumors or other whispers that the city of Anaheim had granted Disney their request for a change of zoning. Remember, this lot is zoned for parking. They can't build actual theme park here. They can't even build a hotel, which, if you recall, was Disney's original plan a while back. They were going to build that giant new hotel, but that deal got canceled by the city of Anaheim because of that aforementioned zoning issue. And this is what led Disney's lobbying efforts to change that zoning through the Disneyland Forward proposal. So this could only be Disneyland Forward if those lobbying efforts were successful. And I suppose it's possible, that it could have happened behind the scenes and we hadn't heard anything about it. But with Disney starved for good press these days, I think we would have heard something. Not to mention the issues the city of Anaheim has had recently with its mayor, who had to resign from his position due to a corruption scandal. A scandal, mind you, that Disney wound up getting involved in indirectly. Not directly, mind you. They have not been accused of doing anything illegal. They simply were referenced in a news article that asserted that Disney was closely involved in lobbying the city on Disney's behalf. But, as you all know, this is pretty much standard procedure for any big company in any city. So it's not specific to, Disney doing anything with the city of Anaheim. It didn't surprise me at all that any of that was happening, that Disney was involved. So I don't really feel like that's a story per se. I don't want to get into that. But I would be willing to bet that it did put a freeze on any sort of, any favors that the city might want to do for the Disney company in order to eliminate any sort of appearance of impropriety, as it were. They got to cool the jets on all that stuff for the time being. So no, I think the most likely scenario is something much more benign. In fact, I recall a while back when I was doing recon in this area before they built the new bridge that connects the Pixar Pal parking structure to Downtown Disney. I recall then that many of those trees in this lot had some enormous roots that were destroying the pavement and concrete planters. These are just examples of what I caught, when I was filming some of the other things going around. But I recall that there were definitely areas that were significantly worse than this. But you can see the cracks in the pavement, and it was worse than this in other areas. So this is just an informed guess on my part. We'll know more in the coming weeks if we see something more than just planters getting dug up. For example, the actual parking lot. They are going to have to dig up some concrete if they are truly replacing those trees. Some concrete will have to be dug up. But if we see the entire parking lot go, that's a sign of something else. So stay tuned to Fresh Baked, as we'll be back here in the coming weeks to follow up, of course. For now, We've got an update on the other mystery happening in the parking lot next door. Actually, the update is that there there isn't one. There is no update. The mystery project appears to have completely stalled. We have seen zero visible progress on this building in what seems like a couple of months now. I am curious if there's any connection between the two projects, between the Lilo lot and the Downtown Disney parking lot. By that I mean we have one project that has suddenly popped up without explanation, while the project next door has suddenly stopped without explanation pretty much right around the same time. Not that we had any explanation of what was going on in the Lilo lot to begin with, but I sure was expecting to know what that building was by now. It feels like they were on a path to be finished by this point. But today it's still covered in scrim and scaffolding. I'm wondering if it even is still a thing right now or if they're just on a pause. If not, if it's not a thing anymore, at least we have a potential Adam the Woo abandoning building video to look forward to. Let's go next to Downtown Disney, where we've got our first visible signs of the transformation of Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen from this to this. As part of the update to Downtown Disney, there will be some changes to the facades of a couple of locations, I'm sure, with Disney noting the Jazz Kitchen specifically with that concept art. It looks about the same right now from the front, but if we sneak around to the side of the building where the express entrance is, we can see to its left they've begun repainting these two cast member entrances. I'm fairly certain this is new paint because of the way it's sort of leaked out over onto the old paint. This dark gray color is to be the new trim color, and where eventually, the brick red, the rest of that will become white. And there's actually a little more of this we can see from the front of the building. It's hard to see unless you're really looking out for it, but if we zoom in a bit, we can see the same dark gray trim being applied to those doors. It won't be long until it looks like this. We'll let you know when we see some of that awesome pink trim and that new entrance sign and logo. I know you guys are all really excited for the transformation of Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen. While we're here in Downtown Disney, we'll check in on the AMC Theater site. Still just a big hole in the ground. Meanwhile, over by the World of Disney, some new walls have popped up where guests approach the Disneyland tram loading area. Probably more of the same concrete type work, but I think that there's a very distinct possibility that this could be Encanto-themed concrete. And of course, I'm kidding again. Guests will need only go around the fountain and up this ramp here to get to the trams while the walls are up. And since there's not a lot of construction going on around the Disneyland Resort these days, we're going to go inside the World of Disney where we found these 3 Halloween shirts. Don't freak out though, the Halloween season is not here yet, nor is the merchandise. This is the full and complete array of merchandise that we have available, and I'm pretty sure these are just leftover from last year. They're trying to sell a few shirts in the run-up to the Halloween season. But something new has appeared at World of Disney, a large and impressive section dedicated to Marvel right here in the middle of the store. Marvel is just about the most bankable commodity that the Disney company has right now, greater than Star Wars even. I cannot believe we're actually here, but all the movies are hits, all the merchandise sells. They have a huge Marvel shop at Studio 17 in DCA, not to mention the Marvel merch that's already available in Avengers Campus proper. They've also taken over a solid quarter of the Star Trader, which used to be 100% Star Wars all day, every day. And now Marvel has its own section here at World of Disney. It's incredible how strong the Marvel brand is right now. Okay, last stop for this update is at the DVC Tower for the Disneyland Hotel. It's growing. Hard really to provide any commentary on this other than that, as it's a fairly pedestrian-looking building for the most part. But things do appear to be moving more quickly than before, so I don't think it'll be much longer before we start seeing the facade take shape, and we'll have something to talk about and look at. Will this be done before the end of the year? I don't know. We'll see. But that's it for today, guys. Follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, on Twitter at FreshBakedDisney, that's fresh with no E, and on TikTok at FreshBakedDisney. And if you like our show and want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you very much. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. And Fresh Baked